What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about the categories men put you in, and I guess the variables that come up that determine where or why he put you in those categories. So, jumping right into it, there are three categories, and then what I call the subcategory. There's friend zone, friends with benefits, girlfriend, and of course, the one I think a lot of you fall in, even when you're friends with benefits, I think a lot of you might actually be this, which is, I like her. She's cool. She's awesome. She's this, she's that, she's all these things, but not enough for me to commit and give up all other women. So, what puts a woman in this category? We'll talk about this one first and the other three. What puts a woman here? In my opinion, it's a couple things. Number one, it's the context, or the negotiation, I call it in my guide. Meaning like the agreement you guys have by not only what you are calling this, but what you're allowing also. And if this guy is in a really good position for a long enough time, there's no reason for him to transition over to the relationship, because again, it's like, yeah, I like her. Yeah, she's cool, but not enough to commit. But also, I don't have to commit. Yeah, I like her. She's cool. She's this, she's that, but I don't even have to commit. Like, we've been talking for X amount of months. She's sucking me off. She's doing this. She's doing that. We're hooking up. We said we're not talking to anyone else, which don't listen to that. That's BS. Like, there's no reason for him to commit. There's just no reason for him to, so he's not going to. Number one. Number two, the other reason is what I call the attraction threshold. I always say attraction is not a choice. I also always say, and you ladies need to write this down. I always say that attraction is the currency of relationships. The more attraction you have, right, the more likely, it's like the facilitator, the more likely someone's going to commit, the more likely someone's going to make a move. We make moves based on emotions, or actions at least as humans, based on our emotions. So if you just aren't clicking the right buttons, okay, this is going to sound effed up. Everyone does this. This is not just in relationships. This is not just men, but the analogy I use in my guide is like a kid wanting a sandwich without the crust. He's not going to throw the whole sandwich away. He's just going to, the mom's going to rip off the crust and give the kid the sandwich. I think dating is the same thing. Just because he doesn't want a relationship with you doesn't mean he's going to toss you to the side, or doesn't mean he's going to be done talking to you. There's still assets that he wants to acquire, whether it's sexual, it's the validation, the approval, there's someone there, like the security net or the insurance policy, I call it. There's a lot of reasons why a guy doesn't commit, but he also doesn't kick you to the side. And usually when that happens, a guy likes to keep you right in the middle. And I always say a confused woman is a hopeful woman. You want to stick around and see where it goes when you're not sure where it's even at. So just remember that. Now, getting into the categories, what gets you into these categories? First off, I would argue that I feel like there's an equation for each. So friend zone, I would say, is long-term, like I want you in my life long-term, minus sexual compatibility, okay? That's that one. I would say for friends with benefits, it's the opposite. It's we have sexual compatibility minus longevity. And then girlfriend material is you are crossing that threshold that we talked about, and I do see you long term, and we do have sexual compatibility. You are a partner I want long term. Now, if you guys want a lot of information on this, okay, right here, get my guide absolutely free. Let me say it one more time, free. Just click the link below or go over to my Instagram. Go over there and just type in DM me free guide, and you will get to, and say hi to you. It's nice to get a hi once in a while. You guys don't do that. I said you guys just ask questions. No one says, hey, Elliot, I hope you're having a good day. I know it's really hard doing what you're doing, talking to all these crazy nuts. I love you, ladies. But no one does that. Everyone's like, hey, I have a problem, and I'm not going to pay you for it. I'm just going to write you 4 links or 4 fucking blocks, and you're going to answer. No, I'm not going to answer you, okay? But getting back into it, ladies, if you want to be seen long term, this whole thing, I can make a whole other video on this. It's all about structure. This is why I always say, like, if you work with me, attraction is very systematic. It's more mathematical. I don't want. It's more obvious than you think. It's not, oh, he just doesn't like me. No, you just don't have what's in place for him to like you. But you can get those things, and I don't mean that in terms of like changing for a guy. Screw the guy, not literally. That's what gets you in trouble. But there's a lot of times where I'm talking to clients and I see them stepping on their own feet and self-sabotaging, or not even realizing what they're doing wrong, and then it happens over and over and over and over again because she's not getting any help from anybody, and she's getting a complex, and then she thinks it's her fault, and then that's a whole other thing we got to work on. But attraction is a lot more systematic than you think, ladies. To get these things, like I said, Mother Nature has gave you everything you need. I always say, without structure, there's chaos. There is a way you're supposed to play the game. You're supposed to have high value mentality, like that you are rare, that you are that your time and your who you're intimate with is not something you just give out because you like a guy. He has to earn it. But women, if you work with me, trust me, we'll find out when across this spectrum of dates that you're talking to a particular guy where you fall off the mat, something happens, and we can fix that. But ladies, to be girlfriend material, some of it is like, well, yeah, I gotta be attractive, or I gotta work on that kind of stuff. But there's also the things I talk about, like being in somebody's tribe. Like the more you're ingrained in somebody's tribe, again, which I talk about in my guide, the harder you are to replace. And what a lot of women don't realize is you're not, like, you don't even know who your competitor is. Like, you think it's men. You think it's, one for women. No, other women are your competitors. Men want to get in relationships. I know this. I talk to men. I have homies. I have people who, or I have clients who I get into relationships. Doesn't matter where you're at. Women are like, oh, LA is the worst, which it is. Or Florida's the worst. Again, it is. But I get people into relationships no matter where you're at. Men want relationships. They just want them with the right women. What ends up happening, though, is the male sexual strategy is, I'm going to have fun in the meantime. You can't do that. I know you're thinking, that's not fair, that's sexist, this is 2024 or 2024, I can do whatever I want. No, you can't. You have to value yourself, you have to value your time, you have to value who you're intimate with, and men have to earn it. That is courtship. I was telling a client the other day, every single other species, and I don't mean like 100%, I don't know, every other species out there in the animal kingdom has some type of dating ritual, has some type of, whether it's a fucking giraffe swinging its head, knocking out another giraffe, whether it's a bird with its or the peacock feathers, the nicest feathers, or the most beautiful feathers or design, whether it's a bird making a nest, whether it's lions fighting, whether it's I don't know, goats ram each other, whatever it is, there's always some type of ritual to fight for the woman. Ours, because we're a little more modern and we're not just going to fight for women, it's courtship. It's a man investing his resources consistently over time for a woman to prove that he is a worthy mate. A lot of you women don't even give men this opportunity to do it. You might in the beginning, oh, Elliot, should I make him pay for the date? Of course you effing should. And the second date, and the third date. And don't be giving it up before the fourth date. Like, ladies, I'm telling you, there's a structure behind it. But with all that being said, if you want to work with me and understand this structure, please just click the link below. I love you all forever, whether you do or not. But if you want to get on the fast track to a relationship and actually be in a relationship next year, because statistically that is not the case. If you just look at the stats, a lot of people who are single this year are going to be single next year in 5 years. That's just true. But if you want somebody to help you, I got you. Okay, I got you. With that being said, ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.